Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to a place where the cold isn't the only thing that gets under your skin. We are heading way up north, to a remote Arctic outpost, to break down The Human Factor, an absolutely terrifying psychological thriller from the classic series The Outer Limits.
And of course, we have to start with that iconic opening, the one that promised us an adventure that reaches from the deepest parts of the inner mind all the way to the outer limits. All right, so our story drops us into Point Taboo, and this place, it's a claustrophobic military base buried deep underground in the middle of the Arctic. It is a place literally built on fear, where 200 people are on constant alert for an enemy they can't even see. Now, at the heart of this whole thing, you've got two men on a collision course. First, there's Major Brothers, the project engineer. He is absolutely convinced he's seen a terrifying truth. And then you have Dr. Hamilton, the base psychiatrist, who's all about scientific reason. So one guy sees a monster, and the other? He just sees a man in crisis.
Major Brothers is completely frantic. You can just feel the panic coming off of him. He's insisting that a recent tremor wasn't an earthquake at all. No, he's saying it was the arrival of some hostile thing that he failed to destroy. For him, the danger isn't just real, it's already inside.
So Dr. Hamilton, he's skeptical for sure, but he's also determined, and he comes up with this totally radical solution. He decides that to get to the bottom of Brothers' obsession, listening isn't enough. He has to actually experience it for himself.
So, the plan? It involves this experimental machine. Here's how it's supposed to work. First, it connects their minds with electrodes. Then, it amps up Brothers' brainwaves. And finally, it feeds all of his unfiltered thoughts, his fears, everything, directly into Hamilton's brain. The idea is to let the doctor see reality exactly as his patient does.
So you see, this isn't just about observation. This is a total fusion of consciousness. Dr. Hamilton is basically turning himself into a human receiver. It's a massive gamble, all to figure out what's real and what's delusion. Famous last words, right? Because as soon as that machine powers up to connect their minds, the answer to that question arrives. A second, powerful tremor rocks the entire base, and the whole experiment just plunges into total, unpredictable chaos.
And in that moment of chaos, the experiment doesn't just work. It works catastrophically well, in a way that neither of these men could have ever seen coming.
That tremor causes a huge power surge, right? It overloads the mind-link machine at the exact critical moment of connection, and it flips a switch that should never, ever have been flipped.
And just like that, the first half of this horrifying twist is revealed. The doctor, our voice of reason and sanity, is now trapped inside the body of his paranoid patient. And with that, the reversal is complete. The paranoid man, the one obsessed with this phantom thing, is now wearing the trusted face and the uniform of the base psychiatrist. It's a total nightmare.
So think about what this means. In the blink of an eye, the sane man is imprisoned, and his desperate pleas are just dismissed as the ravings of a madman. At the same time, the unstable man is suddenly in a position of complete control, his wild story now backed up by a doctor's authority. So the whole story just shifts gears right here. It's not just a psychological thriller anymore. Now, it's a desperate race against time. The man who wanted to destroy a monster now has the power to destroy everything, and the only person who knows the truth is locked away.
And we find out pretty quick that Brothers' paranoia was never really about some alien. No, it was a projection of his own deep, deep guilt. And now, wearing the doctor's face, he's looking for a way out in the form of total annihilation. And man, Brothers is clever. He exploits this exact sentiment. He twists the memory of a soldier that he let die, playing on Colonel Campbell's sense of honor just to manipulate his way closer and closer to that atomic bomb.
So the real doctor's only hope is his assistant, Ingrid, and she's the one who finally puts the horrifying pieces together when the man in Brothers' body reveals a secret, something that only the real Dr. Hamilton could possibly have known.
And you know where this has to end. It all leads to a final, desperate confrontation right back where it all started, in the lab, with the very machine that caused this whole nightmare.
The last few moments just unfold in this frantic, chaotic sequence. Ingrid helps the real Hamilton escape from his cell. They race to the lab, they intercept Brothers, and they force a reversal, using the machine one last time. But the psychic trauma of being swapped back, it's just too much for Major Brothers' mind to handle.
And with the crisis over, the truth is finally out. The alien thing, it was never real. It was a hallucination, a phantom born from Major Brother's profound guilt over abandoning a soldier, a Private Gordon, to die in the ice.
And that right there is the core takeaway. The mind-link machine, it was just a neutral piece of tech. It was the human factor, Brother's guilt and his fear, that turned it into a weapon. The machine itself was nothing until one man's inner turmoil put it to a terrible use.
So, the story leaves us with this powerful question, a reminder that our greatest inventions and maybe even our greatest fears are really just a reflection of ourselves.